Good evening. Welcome to All Ports Gaming, SuperCars NZ. Actually, it's the Sparko Gaming by All Ports Supercars NZ V8 Championship. This is Doug, and I'm joined in the broadcasting lounge this evening with Mr. Shane White. How are we doing there, Shane?
Yeah, good, thanks, Doug. Good to be here at Long Beach, and welcome back to you, Doug.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've just got back on Sunday afternoon from the UK. Still taking a wee bit to adjust back to reality, as now would be very early in the morning, and I'm not ashamed to say that as of about an hour and a half ago I was fast asleep happily, and then remembered that I have some duties to carry out for this evening, and take back over the reins from you for filling in and covering me for the last 3 and a bit weeks while I was away. So thank you very much to you for that.
Not a problem. I enjoyed it, but definitely happy to have you back in the driver's seat for tonight.
Thank you, matey. Yeah, so where are we at? Is this round 5 or 6 of the V8 Supercars?
Round 6, so halfway already. This has gone extremely quickly. Halfway through the championship so far, and yeah, we've got another half to go. So it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out.
Awesome stuff. And yeah, so we're at the infamous road circuit of Long Beach, and there's the information on screen for the fans at home. See, we're cranking quite a bit of a warm temperature outside there today there, Shano. How do you think that's going to go for the boys with the tyre degradation going around a street circuit like this?
Yeah, it certainly won't help tyre degradation, it won't help grip, but they did have a practice night last night in even hotter conditions, so hopefully they'll be well adjusted to that and should be able to manage, but yeah, the tyres will fall off rather quickly, so that will be a massive challenge for them. As far as race lengths, they do have a couple of races tonight. And the first race will be a 15 lapper followed by an 18 lapper, so
awesome.
Relatively short races, but long enough to have to think about managing those tyres through if you want to try a different sort of pit strategy.
There we go. And obviously no changes on that front. The gentlemen still have to come in to get their 4 compulsory tyre stop, is that right?
That's 100% correct.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, so for anyone at home who's just joining us and not familiar, so the guys will have to, during both races tonight, stop for 1 compulsory pit stop and take 4 fresh tyres. They can do that at any time during the race stint, and we may see, just depending on how the traffic and congestion is around this tight street circuit, if someone feels they may be getting held up a wee bit, might want to try and do some undercut strategies, get a bit of fresh air, so they might be able to clear that gap for when the other guys come in. So we may see a few early stoppers, and we may see some people following in rather quickly, or we may see people trying to see how long they can hold on to those tyres towards the end to make a late stop, run through to the finish. It's all going to be super fun and exciting, and let's have a quick look at how qualifying is finishing up, with some times on the board of... There we go, that gives a pretty good breakdown there. P1 currently Nick Bakey, he's done a 120.45, and just behind him in second Cole Buchan, only 0.01 of a second behind him. And then Derek Lovegrove, who we'll have another we talk about in a minute, 0.189 behind him. So you can see all the way down through there some really tight times. And I don't think there'd be too much more than about a total of 2 seconds gap between first place and car number 22, or sorry, the 22nd car on the field. So that's our field number tonight. This is Div 2 racing, and the last couple of minutes to go. So let's just have a quick look and see where Derek is. He's sitting there in pit lane, and the reason why I've gone to him is because Derek is our week sponsor with SuperCars NZ, a new one for us. So thank you to Derek, Better Auto Parts there, and we'll give a bit more of an update during the race session on what it is that they do and what his background is. Thank you, Derek, for your sponsorship for the series.
Yeah, cheers, Derek. So we're just running down nearly into the final 30 seconds of qualifying now. It looks like Peter Vanderberg, the only guy out on track now, so he's going to be the last guy looking to try and finish off a lap. I'm not actually sure he'll quite get the lap in. We've got Carl Rankin leaving the pit lane at the moment, but he certainly won't get a lap time in. He won't even start a lap before time runs out. And yeah, we're down to just 10 seconds remaining, so I don't think Peter's going to be able to finish the lap. Unfortunately, with 2 races tonight, it will stop the session as soon as time runs out, and there we go.
There we go. That, yeah, so Peter Vanderberg a little bit slower during his qualifying session than what he was able to do during practice, but just looking at some of those names in the top 10, including Peter. So Peter is our current championship leader in Div 2, and he is sitting just ahead of Jared Eccleston, so he's managed to qualify 7th, and then Derek Lovegrove in 3rd, who's managed to qualify just ahead of both of those guys in 3rd place. So a lot on the line for these guys tonight, championship points wise, wouldn't you say, Shane?
Yeah, definitely looking very close at the top so far, and as we approach the halfway point, we can see those guys racing within the top 10, and yeah, almost in reverse order of how they stand in the championship, so that could change up tonight.
Sorry about that, bit of clutter on the screen there. Just move that around a wee bit. Yeah, so Nick Bakey taking out top spot this evening. P1 ahead of Cole Buchan in 2. Derek Lovegrove taking 3rd ahead of Steve Darren, P4. Scott McKenzie taking 5th spot with Carl Rankin, Sim Black Racing in 6th. Jared Eccleston there, Stonesy in 7th. Trent Bennett 8th. Daniel Nolan rounding out number 9. And then Peter Vanderberg, the only South African in tonight's field, P10. Let's see how he goes this evening. Peter's a very strong driver and often surprises people with his end of race pace.
Yeah, we're just about to have the lights come up now. There they go on screen, and yeah, the revs coming up, the lights coming on, and they go out and they're off, and it looks like Cole's got on the jump over Nick Bakey off the start. Looks like Cole's going to be able to lead down to turn 1. Nick will hold the inside line down into turn 1, but I think Cole's going to be able to sweep around the outside there. And Steve Darren slotting into 3rd place ahead of Derek Lovegrove early on in this race, coming in through the fountain section now. Very tricky section to get right on the first lap. A little bit of congestion there at the back of the field, but it looks like everyone's been able to get through nice and cleanly. Well done.
Yeah, no data saying anyone's crashed just yet. Hopefully we haven't jinxed them as they come down here into turn 6.
Couple of Festive Foods cars fighting with a Simbax car there, but it's Cole leading down the back straight down into turn 9.
Oh, it's Steve Darren,
and Steve Darren, and it sounded like he made contact with the wall as well. Oh, that's messy, that's 3 wide. Somehow they've all got through there, a bit of congestion at the hairpin.
Oh no.
Ball and the car up in the air there.
That would probably warrant a yellow flag, I'm imagining. There's a whole cluster of people got stacked there.
Yeah, I think that definitely will call for a yellow. We don't have the MRX safety car in here tonight, so we will be needing an iRacing yellow for that.
Yeah, so obviously we've got our Div 1 session taking place tonight as well with those guys over there, and yeah, so safety car and race control over there. But as you can see, that was an almighty cluster. Let's see if we can find out, while iRacing's sorting out that, where that all took place. Who was the first bit of data crashing? So we'll go back to this. So this is a bit earlier on, but this is the Steve Darren crash, and also tied in with this was Derek Lovegrove.
He's sitting P3 all by himself there, just goes deep, locks up and goes straight on.
Yeah.
Did make contact with the wall in the escape zone. So Derek might have had his own little incident as well, maybe partly following Steve's braking point and going in a bit deep himself.
So that's all clean there, so no dramas with that. Let's have a look and see what happened with Derek. So probably just a little bit distracted by Steve's incident, and he's managed to hold on to it, but then there's a couple other bits that happen in the background. Carl Rankin, Simblack's entry was the next crash on that. We can see this one here, and I believe at that time he was being followed by Trent Bennett.
Just roll on with this. I think this might tell more of the story. This is what we picked up, and it was the other Festive Foods car that was lifted up in the air up ahead. So was that?
Yeah. So I think that's Trent or Scott McKenzie.
I don't think it was Scott, because he's still sitting P6.
So this is on board with Trent. Oh, teammates.
Oh, it is teammates as well. And that was Scott up in the air, and he's currently sitting P6.
Goodness me.
Quite how that's panned out, I'm not sure, but I think a few people have taken the opportunity to pit under yellow as well. We have got Carl Rankin, Andrew Johnson, and Derek Lovegrove showing as pitted, and Trent Bennett currently in the pit, so Trent may have needed to tow at some stage.
There we go, so back to live racing now, and we can see Cole Buchan there following the iRacing safety car Mustang around, and we might as well take a mention on it while everyone's sort of slowed up here at the moment. Cole was one of the ones I was going to talk about as he comes into pit lane. A few of the boys sporting some special liveries tonight, some adjustments on their normal liveries. Anzac theme, obviously, today being the 25th of the 4th, and yeah, so Anzac Day for us in Australia, New Zealand, and remembering those who fought for us, and lost their lives and helped to change the way our world is today. So remembering those lovely folks of past, and let's not forget.
Yeah, obviously a very important day in our history, and good to see a number of guys taking the time to put special liveries on their cars for tonight.
Yeah, so we're just on Leon Weir here as his car comes round into shot. He's done up a bit of a livery this evening for that, with Poppy and some of the New Zealand fern with the soldiers on it, unless we forget on the sides. A nice bit of homage there. I think Jake O'Rourke's got a bit of a one happening on his too. Yeah, so some nice tribute liveries there going out for today. So well done, boys, for those of you that are running them, and I'm sure everyone in the field has someone or in their past or knows someone who has been there through that and done some serving. So it's all cool stuff. So currently leading now is Mike Limbrick. I can see the lights are out on the safety car, so I can only assume it's going to be coming in this lap. Up 8 spots behind him, championship leader currently, Peter Vanderberg. He's managed to get through that last turn incident by, I think, by being shoved out through the other side of it more than anything else. But everyone obviously have mostly come in to take their pit stops and hopefully grab their tyres at the same time and got that out of the way. And now we'll be looking forward to the last probably 12 or 13 lap sprint to the end.
Green.
And a couple of guys pitting on the restart. So we've got Mike, Peter and Daniel, 3 cars yet to pit, and Mike's taking the green flag. He's going to set off, but Peter looking to challenge him immediately down to turn 1, going on the inside. A brilliant restart by Peter. He just thinks better of it. Thought for a second Mike might have gone a little bit deep into turn 1, but he got it pulled out.
Yep, Mike certainly on the push straight out the gates on that one. Wasn't taking any bar of Derek looking at taking a sniff, and is now being able to just stretch that gap out to just under a second there now. Daniel Nolan there in third in the 000 car, holding on to the back of Peter Vanderberg nicely. These three have stretched away a wee bit from Andrew Johnson currently, just a little bit.
But Andrew's done very well, because sitting in 4th, he's up 9 spots from where he started, and he's the first of the guys that have taken their pit stop. So he's actually our race leader on correction here, having started down in 13th position.
Well, there you go. Everyone making sure they try and get through that infamously tight last corner.
And looked like there might have been a little bit going on in the background there.
Yeah.
Steve Darren's towed to the pits by the look of it.
Yeah, Steve Darren crash. We'll have a quick look at that data shortly. I'll just stay with this at the moment while the guys' tyres come up and see if anyone's able to make a lunge. Very keen at seeing whether or not Peter's able to get a run on Mike here at any point. Very, very hard track to line up, and I think the as close as you can keep it.
And somebody's had a moment up in front there. That's one of our Anzac liveries.
Yeah, I believe that might have been Leon actually, or possibly Simon Willis. So.
Oh, Peter's had a big moment off turn 8 there, and he's going to drop back into the clutches of Daniel Nolan, and Daniel's going to get past him there. So
yes,
didn't
indeed.
quite see what happened, but it sort of looked like he just gassed it up a little bit too much on the exit and had to catch the car pretty quickly. Did a good job to do that, but lost a spot in the process.
Yeah. So that final corner there is certainly a really, really tricky one to get, because being this the sort of the longest section of curved straight that the cars have, about your one and only chance to get a pass done under draft. So just watching these guys now, and yeah, I know Peter will be kicking himself a wee bit over that, because he certainly looked like he was trying to square up Mike, and now he's got to try and think 2 ahead to get that infamous P1 spot. But obviously 2 races this evening, starting the second race in P3 wouldn't be too bad of a thing either, would it?
No, but he does still have to make a pit stop. So these 3, you can see them making the gap, and they are looking to crack on and set some good pace and try and make sure they don't fall any further back than they need to when they do take that pit stop.
There we go. Nick Bakey, after qualifying P1, down 14 grid spots there, and he's following Daniel Johnson round, the son of Andrew Johnson, currently sitting in 4th. And Nick just showing the nose a wee bit as he negotiates down through turn 9 and 10, I believe it is.
Yes, I didn't quite catch what happened to Nick. He may have just had a slow pit stop, because he was running second when the safety car came out, so yeah, didn't quite catch what caused him to drop back in the order.
Quick check in with Stonesy there, sitting comfortably up a couple of actually down one grid spot from where he started into P8, but not too stressed. Jared, he's taken the ball by the horns this season and dedicating his time and energy to the V8 Supercars to see how he fares running in these, and as we know from his pace across the ways in the GT3s, he's certainly been able to replicate that by coming across and racing these big V8 tanks around as well.
Yeah, he says he's sticking to one car with the V8s this season, but I can confirm that he was spotted at the Nürburgring in a Porsche GT3 on the weekend, so whether he's going to be taking on that particular challenge on Thursday, who knows, but he was certainly doing some laps.
Interesting. We saw a bit of a sandwiching there going on between a few of these cars. Stefan Adams, Simblacks, and Cole Buchan having some fun, and Derek Lovegrove getting caught in that meat sandwich I saw just ahead. So that was a bit interesting. But while we've got Derek somewhere there in the mix, how about we make a quick mention about him and his weekly sponsorship, Shana?
Yes, a better auto parts. They've been a Ford specialist parts supplier in the past, but now they sell new parts and accessories on Trade Me since Derek has retired, but still running the business in his retirement via Trade Me. And you can check out betterautoparts.com for his Trade Me store.
Awesome. Yeah, so I've also see, Derek has a very, very long standing in the motor trade. He's been involved in it for the last 36 years. Up until recently, he'd owned and run Panorama Motorsports, which has started to run in the endurance racing scene in a V8 Ford Focus. And in the recent years, they had built and run an FG Falcon Ute for the NZ V8 Ute series. So if you were in any doubt of whether or not they've got the right expertise for you and might know their stuff, I think that that little blurb there is probably enough of a nod in their general direction to know that they know what's good.
Yeah, except you seem to think Fords are good.
Well, yeah, I mean... Oh, who's that?
Oh no!
Sam X. Yep, I just saw that. Man, I'm going to come back a little bit more, but not right in front of all of them.
Yeah, doing a good job actually there, just making sure he doesn't back out into the path of the guys coming along. He did have a bit of free space to work with, but obviously he's not quite sure whether this guy's running too wide coming out of that corner, so just making sure he leaves plenty of space and sacrificing himself a little bit by going into the wall again, but at the end of the day, he'd already made the mistake and just making sure he didn't ruin anyone else's race as a result.
That's it. And Sam, if you're listening later on, check out Better Auto Parts, mate. They're a Ford specialist. They'll be able to help you out with anything you've got going wrong with that Mustang there now, mate. Tuning in with another fast Mustang, Andrew Johnson's one up there at the front. Actually got a Ford-packed front line there. Maybe a few of them have been in contact with Derek before the start of the race to get some lightweight parts. We've got Andrew, Stefan, Cole, Derek and Jared all running Ford Mustangs. So now that I feel slightly nauseated about that, let's tune in with Scott McKenzie, our first Holden out there on the field, sitting in 6th spot.
No doubt those Mustangs will catch fire soon, like they did at Albert Park.
Wasn't that a story and a half for the new Gen 3 Supercar V8s? else have we got happening down here? Ed Bacon, haven't tuned in with him tonight, but going pretty well at the moment. Up 10 spots into P12, so that's a good push on from him. Some of the guys who were at the front that are now at the back. Peter Vanderberg sitting in P15, so
he's gone into the
having
wall.
a big moment. You caught that live too, if you believed it.
Well, I was just about to comment that he made the later pit stop after everybody else put it under safety car, and he may be looking to do something with those pressure tyres, but unfortunately he's just hit the wall quite hard. That won't do any good for his front right toe, so
No,
unfortunately I think he's probably going to struggle to the end of the race if he doesn't choose to just come in and take another fast repair.
Interesting. We'll see whether or not he swings in here now. As he does, you called that well. Going by his profile picture, he might need to request another tear-off on those goggles. There might have been some mud on there obscuring his vision as he came around that corner before. So just get them to clean that up for you, Pete, while you're in there getting your fast repair done, mate. It's happening here at the front, though. Andrew Johnson and Stefan Adams, both of them up 12 grid spots, respectively, into P1 and 2. Andrew Johnson just making a wee bit of an error coming across that ripple strip, and look at that, it's given Stefan the ability just to duck dive under there, and Andrew being very cautious about what space he had around him, and that's allowed Derek Lovegrove to go by as well. So in the space of two corners, Andrew Johnson falling back from P1 into P4, and very close, looking like he might be rounded up by Jared Eccleston there as well. That's a tight corner to get around, and they've done that magnificently, and Andrew is just leading spots at the moment, now being passed by Scott McKenzie. Oh no, sorry, by Leon Weir, who's just out of position but managing to get by him. And there you go, that's how quickly things can change at the front. That one in the tail lights in the distance, yellow-black car, was where he was before. And that's this gentleman here, Stefan Adams, Simplex Racing.
Yes, that was a very bold move by Stefan, but he got it down the inside and made it nice and clean, but unfortunately it made it very difficult for Andrew to get around the corner with clearing the wall on the exit, and that just slowed up it and just cost him so much time down that straight.
Wonder if we can get another view of that pass. Pretty well executed. Wow. in my books. Well done, Stefan.
Yeah. Just to even have the confidence to think, I'm going to throw it down the inside here, where it's a corner where, for me, lap to lap, I'm not even sure I'm going to make it every lap. And he's thinking, I'm going to throw it down the inside, and he gets it pulled up, gets down the inside, gets the move done nice and cleanly. That's an incredible move.
It certainly was. I was very much thinking that he's got the pass done, but there's no way that he's not going to be able to make the exit of that corner. And I think that tyre bundle just ran out just in time for him to be able to squeeze on by it and even not rub the wall. But yeah, no, magnificent bit of driving there by Stefan, and up 13 spots into P1 with. Not probably too much left of the race to go now, Shane. I've only got time on my board. Have you got a lap counter?
I do have a lap counter, and they are just about to come on to the final lap as we speak.
There we go. So Derek Lovegrove with a wee bit of red mist probably now coming down upon him as he eyeballs the back of Stefan's car.
Oh, and Stefan's gone deep, he's in the wall, and Derek walks by into the lead, and Stefan is dropping like a piece of lead. He's got it back going, but he's down in 7th position now, missing the bonnet and the front bumper. Let's have a look at what happened. I think he just missed his braking point.
Bit of a lock on the rears and wasn't going to make the corner, so tried to straighten up, but unlucky. He'll be really gutted about that, but we'll keep an eye on him for race 2 coming up shortly. But we couldn't have written a better story for Derek Lovegrove. Better auto parts coming around through the last sections of corner here in P1.
Yeah, that's worked out very well for Derek.
I mean, you rewind the clock though, and remember, Derek did qualify P3 for this race, so rightly so, he was up towards the front, and if anyone was deserved of a win, he's certainly been the master artist for this race. And Cole Buchan started P2, finished P2, and Jared Eccleston there rounding out P3 up 4 grid spots. Andrew Johnson, who had led probably a great number of the last few laps of the race as well, finishing in 4th. Just ahead of Scott McKenzie in 5th over Carl Rankin. Stefan Adams dropped back to 7, but still finished 7 grid spots up from where he started, so eyes on him for towards the end. Nick Bakey rounding out P8 after starting on pole, down 7 spots. Daniel Johnson in P9, and then Ross Watson rounding out the top 10. Wow, yeah. What a really interesting first heat race before we move on towards the feature. That was outstanding. There was a lot happening everywhere.
Yeah, just as we tick over into a 6-minute warm-up, I think we've got a good opportunity to do this. Derek, well done, mate. What a race.
Yeah, it was my fault for the crash, I think, but anyway.
Oh, I don't know. We had a look back over it, and it looked like two teammates from a certain cooking company may have tangled into each other. So I think you're in the clear with that one there, mate. But
I thought my spinning beforehand checked everybody up. But anyway, it is what it is.
No, not too badly actually. Yeah, we had a look back at that as well, and I think everyone was still pushing pretty hard on that opening lap, but it was certainly turn 11 that was the one that caught everyone out, just not being able to negotiate getting round on those cold tyres and causing that big stack up. So, but well done, qualified P3 and finished P1 out of that first heat race. So yeah, well done to you for that.
Yep, thanks, mate. Hopefully you can do good in the next one.
Yeah, we've given the company Better Auto Parts a shout out before, and a big thank you to you for you coming on board for a week's sponsorship there. And is there anything else you'd like to add to the wee blurb that you'd sent through to us about yourselves, or anything that people maybe want to check in on?
No, not really, mate. It's pretty much probably covered it. So.
All good. Yeah. So well done, Derek. We'll let you go and run off and grab a fresh drink and a refresh on the head, and best of luck. Eyes forward for the next one, mate. It's yours for the taking.
Yep, thank you, mate.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
That was race winner, Derek Lovegrove. I think we might have a bit of a window to take a little bit of a break now with 4 minutes remaining in the warm-up.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really too much more else to discuss, and no one else certainly important to talk to here. Wouldn't you agree, Shane? So we'll just pull the lever at the side and put the feet up and watch a bit of Marty Mitchell go and do some warm-ups.
I think he goes all right, don't you?
Oh God, did you leave the door unlocked, Shane?
I must have.
Bugger. Sean, there's nothing in the fridge, mate. You killed it last Thursday.
No, you need to be sober to watch the racing tonight, I tell you. It's full on.
Gosh. How are you guys getting on in Div 1?
Yeah, it's the safety car to come out. lap 1, turn 1.
Oh, lap 1, turn 1.
Uh,
We managed to get to turn 11 before we threw the iRacing yellow.
oh, nice. Oh, that's better than what we did. But there's a bit of action going on. A few people up the top that normally are not, and we got Jason Cossey in third, Taylor Mitchell fourth, Wade Michael 2 and fifth, Aaron Goodrick sixth, so Ryan seventh. So yeah, even the back half of the top 10. I don't know if Connor Nixon jumped the start or not, but he had a few issues.
There we go. Well, our race week sponsor just head upstairs, qualified third, Better Auto Parts, Derek Lovegrove, qualified third and managed to take P1 at the end of the heat race.
I saw his name in there. I was like, oh, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
Sponsor the week and win a race, win a chicken dinner.
That's it. Yeah, so we ran down through the championship points for Div 2 earlier, and I'd say things are going to be pretty tight coming out of this one between Jared Eccleston and Derek Lovegrove. Jared managing to finish third and Derek in first, and Peter Vanderberg, our P1 at the moment, had a bit of a mare after the dramas at the beginning and finished down the order in about P15. So he's got a lot to recover for Heat 2 feature race to ensure that he doesn't get knocked off the top step.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it is, and even in the mid pack in Div 2, it's quite close. I didn't put those points up because it was a bit too painful, but they're all in the results. All they have to do is go and look at their results and add them points together if anyone's interested, or just give me a text and I'll let them know where they're at.
Nice stuff.
So, yeah, it's good. Oh, well,
that's certainly close racing here this evening with the Div 2 guys. I think there was only probably just about bang on 2 seconds of separation between qualifying times of P1 down through to car number 23 on field. So there's not much left to gamble with. Everyone's pretty tight and doing similar things. So it's only by driver error that people are making up the spots.
Oh yeah, that's what we want, isn't it? Keeping all the drivers close together in the same races. So, well, good luck with the second race with the call. I hope you enjoy it, boys, and we'll go back in 3 more laps in the second one. So, still got to do the compulsory pit stop. We'll see how that goes.
Sounds good, mate. You enjoy yourself over there and have a good call, or race control call, and we'll tune in afterwards and get the debrief.
Okay, mate. Enjoy it, boys.
So,
Cheers, Sean.
Meanwhile, that's going on. You're sending me garbage. What are you telling me to do?
I'm trying to give you some instructions to get a lap count on your screen.
Import from library. From library. Okay. What's this going to do?
And count. You should be able to find. Oh, sorry, I've got a typo in there. Session state settings you should be looking for.
It's not coming up with anything. I see what you're asking me to do, and I can do the add button import file from library. Won't take me anywhere at the moment. Maybe because we're currently using it.
Oh, it might be putting it on another screen. Anyway, we can get that sorted
That's all
next week.
good, but that's good to know. Someone's always onto it, and it's usually someone, not me. But I'm understanding what you're putting down, so thank you for that.
No worries.
There we go. The guys gridding up. They should be just about to see some lights come up in front of them.
Green, green, green.
So they're off and
You
Cole
can't
gets the first
snoozing on
start.
that one.
Yeah, a lot of congestion at the back. Cole's managed to jump Derek at the front. Cole's going to take the lead into the braking zone and into turn 1.
I just saw Peter Vanderberg and Ed Bacon's name come up on the crash detail there as well, so something to check in with that one.
Looks like everybody behaving themselves through the fountain turn, which is good to see. You don't want anybody trying to stick a nose down the inside on the first lap there. That can cause a lot of drama.
Oh,
but
Daniel Johnson in the background crash with Simon Willis going round as well.
Side-by-side action there. There's a Foods car down the inside.
I think these guys forget that the tyres aren't quite doing what the same that they were doing when they finished the end of that last race. Oh my gosh, they are flying.
More action here. We've got Jared Eccleston sticking it down the inside.
Oh,
Oh, Sam Epps involved turning. That might be Trent Bennett that is
Trent Bennett, yeah. Here we are, we're back down at turn 1 again, on board following Cole Buchan, who is getting chased by Derek Lovegrove. Nick Bakey has managed to make a monster recovery, all the while having taken some parts off his car, up 5 spots to get back into P3. So our qualifier P1, Nick Bakey, now on the hunt to get back towards the front of all of this. He's got Scott McKenzie in behind him, being followed very closely by Daniel Nolan, 000 entry, and then Jared Eccleston in 6th, fallen down 3 spots there, just getting caught up at the final turn before.
Yeah, so it was Daniel that Jared was trying to make a move on at the hairpin, and that obviously didn't pan out quite the way he wanted because it's slotted back in behind him. So really looking keen to go forward and attempting the move again. Bit of a bump there, was well and truly down the inside, but that slowed them both up. I think he's trying it, he's been tenacious with it, but I think he needs to realise that it's not quite working and maybe try and set up the exit out of the hairpin to try and make a move at turn 1 next time around maybe.
That's it, and Stefan Adams having a wee look down there, might have thought he was had enough on the draft there to make a move on Jared. But down here, further down the order, Peter Vanderberg battling it out with Ed Bacon coming into turn 1, and they've been able to get through that not too badly. Bit of a slow run out there at the end of the fountain. But this is where the majority of the action is taking place at the moment, and that's positions 4 through to 7.
Yeah, so quite a number of cars all bunched very closely together here at the moment. We've got 5 guys.
Even Nick Bakey in it now.
Yeah. Nick having a bit of a lock up at the hairpin, and he's going to come to the pits. He'll take a fast repair and get some of that aero damage patched up, and get some fresh tyres on the car as well, and maybe a splash of fuel into the car, and come back out and see what he can do with a long second stint.
Yeah, so we must have been about lap 3 now. Would that be about right?
Yes, that was lap 3 when Nick dove into the pits. We're on lap 4 now, and there's a move side by side into the fountain section. Somehow there was a bit of contact, but somehow they both come out the other side.
I honestly reckon these guys over here in the V8 series are a lot more game than what some of us are in the GT3s.
Yeah, I'm seeing some very, very optimistic moves, and places where I normally think I just would rather slot into single file than not try and make a move there, because I don't think you can get 2 cars through, but they're managing to get through. So I think that speaks volumes of both guys in that situation where, you know, they're both able to give each other enough respect to get through the corner at a spot where it's normally very much single line.
100%. The only negative that I'm seeing at the moment, and it's probably going to be a huge positive for Nick Bakey if he manages to keep his nose clean. These guys are having some pretty hard, tough battles here at the moment, and I'd say at some of the slower corners, they're getting away even slower than probably what they normally would, just trying to defend and cover some of those lines. And obviously, as we've said before, they're exploring lines that we probably wouldn't even normally attempt to look at. So some of their exit speeds and track speed may be a little bit more compromised. So I'm genuinely interested to see how it looks when this pack comes in to the pits, because these guys just ahead of them are nearly 8 seconds clear from, well, they are just over 8 seconds clear from Derek through to Daniel in P3. So keeping that in mind, Nick Bakey splits that gap. It'll be interesting to see how these two play it out, and if they're aware that he's coming early and maybe wanting to try and close that gap for a run to the end. But Nick will be battling with slightly more worn tyres, but he is a bit of a king of the street circuits, isn't he? He has a bit of a love for the concrete jungles, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He seems to thrive when you've got that threat of concrete around you. He's very good at knowing how to extract the most out of the car between the concrete barriers and just get nice and close to them without actually making contact. He does very well of that.
Certainly does. Just a quick look on board here with Jared Eccleston. As I saw him getting close to Scott McKenzie again, as Scott looked like he nearly ran quite deep there and had a bit of a brake lock up.
Yeah, Scott looking like he's just overdriving a little bit at the moment. Jared's certainly focusing on corner exit, so that will be to his advantage, especially if Scott goes a bit too deep and runs a bit wide. It might open the door.
Certainly about control and patience through here, isn't it?
Yes, very much. You can see Jared swinging out wide through the middle part of that double left-hander to try and open up the second part of it and hold the car as far to the left as possible to open up the right-hander at the end. Looking stuck into the slipstream now, but Scott's got his own slipstream on Daniel ahead, and Daniel goes defensive, comes back across to the racing line.
Man, just battling with traction, aren't they?
Yeah, which seems to be a never-ending story around here. Yeah, come out on cold tyres, and you've got to be so careful with that right foot, not to light up the rest on the exit of the slow corners, and then you might get a window of a few corners where you got the tyres in the optimum temperature zone, and then they start wearing off, and that rear grip starts going away again very quickly. So very challenging circuit to drive around. Very challenging in these V8s where you got the lock diff, huge amounts of power going to the rear wheels. It makes it very difficult to get that power down cleanly, but these guys are doing a reasonable job of it at the moment.
Just had a question from Jeremy Maxwell saying, how's Heath going? Well, unfortunately, we're not too sure on the status of him. He's in the Div 1 race, and we are following the Div 2 series tonight. So you'll have to get the update from him later on about that one, how his race went. But you could also possibly check it on Facebook, Skeleton Sim Sports. He may have a live stream up with him racing, so you'll be able to get an update there. But do that after this race. There is some hot, fun battles going on at the moment as we're on board with Jared Eccleston, or Stonesy, here in 5th spot, as he tries to do whatever he can do to close that margin down on Scott McKenzie in front of him in P4.
Yeah, these guys seem to be settling into a little bit more of a flow now. We haven't seen them go side by side for a few laps, but Stephen Adams just joining the back of the battle. As Scott's gone in deep and Jared just managed to make his way around. I think there was contact there as well.
It was, and
Stefan's going to look to take advantage. He's managed to find his way past Scott, looking to find a way around Jared. Scott fights back on the outside, sweeps around the outside.
I don't know who's going to hang on to that. I reckon he's got some right rear wheel damage there after that contact with Jared, and Jared taking the opportunity now, possibly having a wee bit of bent steering, to come in to serve his pit stop, grab some tyres, and
Cole Buchan has also pitted from the lead. So Derek Lovegrove will retake the lead now. He's going to probably look to push on a little bit, and
here we go. Scott McKenzie not going great now into the tyre bundle there at turn 1. Stefan just pulling over there, so I didn't see whether or not if he had any other drama.
I heard an apology come across the mic from Stefan, so I think that was a redress. I'm not entirely sure that was all his fault, but certainly he felt like he had a part to play in Scott going into the wall, so just checked up and redressed, and you can see Scott struggling with those tyres. I think he needs to get in, get those off and get some fresh ones on. This is like 9 out of 18, so at the end of this one we will be halfway through the race.
Yeah, I really think the side impact from Jared on his right rear wheel is what's causing him the biggest dramas at the moment. You can see it's slightly tucked under the car as opposed to cambering outwards. He's got Leon Weir there, hopefully he's out of the way, and into the pit lane he goes. Derek Lovegrove also into the pit lane there for his stop.
So that'll still be interesting to see where Derek comes out relative to Cole Buchan. Cole was in front in the race lead, and also Nick Bakey having made that early stop.
So
there's a few spots behind Cole though, and Cole looks like he's just managed to jump ahead of Derek there, down into turn 1, so that is as far as those guys are concerned, although Cole's probably actually pulled out a little bit. They were a bit closer than that when Cole came in, so that lap on fresh tyres beneficial to Cole, but now Derek's going to have 1 lap fresh tyres all the way to the end of the race, so we'll see if he can use those to his advantage. He did have good pace in that first stint as well.
There we go. So just another quick update on from Jeremy Maxwell there. He has just bailed from the Div 1 race as he was taken out turn 1 in both races. So sorry to hear that. It's a very tricky circuit, and no one wants their evening ruined by getting taken out at turn 1. And also Scott Pickering here now joining us. He says that Richie Stanaway had put him into the wall twice in a row. So quite a bit of interesting things happening there across in the Div 1 race, and Brad Taylor has joined in, and he's cheering on Marty Mitchell. So let's find Marty on track. Marty also got an Anzac livery on, one of the Penrite ones from a few years ago, and it was a very cool special livery that those guys have done. I wonder if we'll see any of the Gen 3 supercars sporting a tribute livery this weekend when they go to Perth.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Obviously racing in Perth this weekend, and being Anzac week, you would hope that we may see some Anzac liveries on the car. So looking forward to seeing what they roll out with regard to that.
So indeed. One man we haven't really seen much of tonight, Mr. Bill Kilger, only down one spot from where he started in P12, and commentator's curse has just bit him as he's gone and sliding the car all over the place now. So crack on, Bill. We'll leave you to that. Let's have a quick tune back in towards the front. Cole Buchan currently P1 ahead of Derek Lovegrove in second. Daniel Nolan sitting in third ahead of Nick Bakey there in fourth. Jared Eccleston sitting in fifth spot, and recovery of the night so far, Leon Weir up 12 spots to be sitting P6. Have you got any data if Leon's done his pit stop as well? Is he looking like he's happy where he is?
Yes, everybody has taken at least one pit stop in this race, so that should be the full corrected order that we're seeing.
Nice stuff. So yeah, so Leon there in sixth currently ahead of Scott McKenzie, who's now got a nice hot fresh car, and he'll be looking to push that back up towards the top five where he was sitting before. Stefan Adams makes up grid spot number 8, and Ross Watson up one spot, P9. So that's awesome, and it's really awesome to see Ross persevering and pushing on. Had a bit of a slow start with SuperCars NZ, but you certainly couldn't fault him for persevering and pushing on, and I think he got himself on board with some of the PSR boys, and has now managed to find his feet quite well, sitting inside the top 10 here in Div 2, just ahead of Andrew Johnson in P10. That corner never gets any faster, does it?
No, it feels like it gets tighter and tighter every lap you go around it. We're probably shaping up for quite a good battle for the lead towards the end of the race here. Derek's just managed to pull that Cole Buchan's lead down to just under a second, hovering around a second. But his lap pace at the moment is around half a second quicker. So within the next couple of laps, we're going to see, as long as Derek can continue that pace, we're going to see him right on the back. And in fact, he's just about right on the back of Cole Buchan now.
Yeah. How many laps to go there, matey?
We're on lap 13 out of 18, so after this one we're going to have 5 more to go, so plenty of time for Derek to try and make a move, but of course not an easy track to try and make a move on, and you can imagine Cole will be getting the elbows out, making that Mustang as wide as he possibly can.
Certainly will be. We'll have a quick look at some of the other cars quickly in the field. We've got Simon Willis here, MX Raps 19 entry, sitting in P12 up 9 spots from where he started. Carl Rankin, Simplex there, just down into P13, down 7 spots from where he was. Peter Vanderberg, bit of a rough night for him, but pushing on nonetheless. P14 currently. Marty Mitchell, another one from MX Raps, Limit Bashes Racing NZ. Daniel Johnson there in 16, ahead of Mike Limbrick there in 17th. Ed Bacon, 18th spot, just ahead of Jake O'Rourke. Sam App still doing his thing, tutuing around the track, down 8 spots from where he started. P20 for him. And Trent Bennett no longer with us, so let's have a look at the some battles towards the front. So we've got Scott McKenzie down there battling behind Leon. We've got Nick Bakey and Jared Eccleston having a hard run with each other.
Doing what with each other?
They're having a hard run with each other. I'm failing to pick up the humour that you're trying to lay down there, Shane. awesome bit of racing nonetheless. Marty Mitchell and Daniel Johnson getting close to each other as well. Scott McKenzie and Leon Weir still happening there. Derek's just backed off a little bit, maybe just trying to save a little bit of that tyre life for a lunge closer towards the end, but better shake a leg and get that thing happening if you want to do P1 back to back there, buddy. This is another good spot. I was going to say if Nick can close that gap to Jared would be good through there, but just a bit of a light up on the wheels. Nick doing pretty good, seeing he pitted on lap 3. His tyres just hanging on enough for him to keep pace there.
Yes, I've been able to put pressure on Jared despite taking the earlier pit stop there from Nick, so that shows just how strong he is around this sort of circuit. He's able to keep delivering pace well into a stint, as Peter Vanderberg getting very close to Carl Rankin here.
Ooh, Carl having a bit of understeer there, getting very close to the wall on the inside.
Yes, that makes him quite vulnerable. Peter's going to look to take a shallower exit off the hairpin here, and looks like he's been able to set up quite well. He'll tuck into the slipstream now, and he's pretty close. I would say he might be able to have a look down to turn 1, although Carl's just been able to stretch it out a little bit, maybe just enough to be relatively safe, but he's locked the rears a little bit into turn 1, sliding it into the apex, gets it turned and keeps it off the wall though, so manages to do a relatively good job of keeping it nice and clean. Peter keen to find a way past, but not quite able to find the opening at the moment.
Certainly that is the closest margin on track at the moment, and just ahead of them Bill Kilger just putting his car around, or at least a big sideways moment. And here we go, looking like we might have some action here. I wonder if Carl will move over and cover that towards the end.
I think Bill did go around because he's now behind Peter, so we didn't quite get a good view of what happened to Bill there, but he's gone from being in front of these guys to being behind them.
No crash data on that one, but at least had, oh, there's Bill still there, so at least had quite a big moment nonetheless.
So Carl just able to do enough down the front straight to stretch that gap again. I wonder if Carl might be running a lower downforce setup, and that's why Peter's able to put the pressure on him through the twisty stuff, but then Carl's able to pull away down the straight a little bit, as Peter has half a look, but that gap closed pretty quickly.
Whoa.
Might have just been a little show the nose, remind him that you're there sort of thing.
And
get all
we
in
have
his mirrors.
gone white flag as well. These guys just coming into the last part of the race. So the battle between Cole and Derek still very lively.
Yeah, it looked like Derek was thinking pretty seriously about trying to fire down the inside of turn 1. That closed on him though.
Oh, bit of a mistake there from Cole, I think. Just put a little bit quick light up on the tyres. Might put Derek in striking range. Not quite close enough, but just keeping the nose exposed, filling up those mirrors.
Yeah, and he's lost a bit of ground by having that half lock, and I think that's going to cost him a prime opportunity down the end of the back straight here.
Yep. Yeah, half a second margin now. He'd be praying that Cole has a whoopsie coming into the braking zone here, but I think he's done very nicely to get round through that.
We have seen passes in the hairpin tonight, so if we can get a good run through here, he might be half a chance. No, he's just a bit too far back.
Yeah, good line,
Take
but
a ripper exit to to win the drag race down to the line, and Cole's going to do enough. He's going to hold on. Got
Well
it at the start,
done.
off the line, and was able to do enough to hold Derek behind, so Derek not quite able to do the double, but a first and a second, and a night when he came in third in the championship, that will be very beneficial for him.
Certainly will. And coming across the line, P3, Daniel Nolan just ahead of Jared Eccleston taking out P4. So, yeah, the championship standings are certainly going to take a bit of a shake-up on that one. And Nick Bakey managing to finish up the race, P5. Leon, well done, P6, ahead of Scott McKenzie, celebrating in style across the line, P7, Ross Watson, his teammate, rounding up P8, so well done Ross, you managed to get another one there towards the end. Oh, stopped. Andrew Johnson, P9, and Simon Wallace. All the way back there with all the other cars going by him, taking out P10. So certainly a night for hard racing, and we have seen all of that here.
Yeah, a couple of very good races. We've seen plenty of battles, and even a battle right to the end for the lead in that one, and Cole was able to hold Derek off to take the win by half a second.
Yeah, certainly was, man. What a night, and yeah, man, certainly happy to be back on board and managing to see it firsthand through my eyes. Certainly, I certainly missed the being here and doing the commentating in the last few weeks.
Yeah, we missed having you in the broadcasting lounge, Doug.
Thank you again for covering my absence, and I know that you'd had Brownie jump in to give you a hand, and I think he was going to come along tonight, but he had some family stuff going on, so I hope that's all going good for you there, Brendan. Thinking about you, mate, and we'll touch base with you later on. But anyway, folks, that was Div 2 of the Sparko Gaming from Allports Gaming Round 6 Supercars NZ V8s, and yeah, certainly a ripper of a race. Looking forward to seeing how things go next Tuesday as the guys head to where, Shane?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
I do it every week.
Well, you haven't been here for a few weeks to do it, have you?
Well, no. I should have been sending some private messages to Brendan to put you on the spot.
Hang on. Let me get that information. So next week we are heading to Twin Ring Matagi.
Oh, very good. Is that the full circuit or the short circuit?
Short circuit.
Very cool. We've seen some really awesome battles with the V8s there, so that'll be us in the broadcasting lounge following our Div 1 guys around Twin Ring Motegi. Well, awesome track that'll be. Anyway, a big thank you to iRacing for the platform that we race on. It's certainly one of the best sim racing platforms out there on the market, and I think with the number of professional drivers that use it, it puts credit to the platform that they've provided. A big thank you to Sparko Gaming, our main season sponsor from Allports Gaming. Get in touch with them for all of your racing accessory needs, gloves and boots and seats and all the other bits and bobs. Check them out. And a big thank you to Better Auto Parts for joining us this week as our Race Week sponsor. And don't forget to check them out on trademebetterautoparts.com. Thank you again, Shane, for welcoming me back and joining me tonight in the broadcasting lounge. I'm sorry that there was no beers in the fridge. I'm certainly not putting any extras in there for Sean and Wayne on Thursday night if that's the way they're going to treat us.
You don't need to apologise. We know who's to blame for that one.
Very good, and I'll look forward to touching base with those guys and seeing how their race ended up after hearing some of the boys come in here to comment to say there was some dramas across the ways. Anyway, that's us, and we'll see you on Thursday night for the GT3s. I may be on track depending on work time, but anyway, you'll be able to see Shane out there doing his thing with Wayne and Sean up in the broadcasting lounge. This is Doug, it's been a pleasure, and we will catch you later.
Yeah.